Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Great. Okay, so welcome to Swiflearn online classes. As you already know that Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination from classes 1 to 10. Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes. We give personalized attention to each and every students of our batches because of our batches consist of 6 students, right? Not more than that. And it may be a batch of 1 student or 2 student according to you how you will choose your batch, right? Now, thirdly, we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track how you are progressing, and then you will get the feedback which will be very, very helpful for you to improve yourself. And the fourth important thing is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. And if you have any sort of topic which is coming in your school exam, we have not done it yet, we will do those first and then we will move on to the rest of the topics. So, this type of custom request generally we handle. Okay, so these are all our general features of Swiflearn. Let us now see what are our key features. So first of all, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every students. And according to this progress report, there will be the PTM, and in the PTM there will be our parents will be able to interact with us directly, right? They can share any feedback with us. Now, secondly, we have the SAT, which happen in every Sunday. That is the Swiflearn Academic Test Series, where you will be able to perform and your rank and name will be given on our leaderboard. And the third and the fourth important thing are practice. As you already know that practice makes a man perfect. So what you have to do after completing each and every chapter, you have to practice writing the question answers, and this question answers will definitely help you to understand the concept better, and you will never lose any marks in your board exam or school exam. You know? So do practice the question answer and submit it because we have unlimited practice tests and we will check your answer. We will give you the tips and tricks how to write the answer so that you will never lose any marks. Yeah. So for experiencing all these things, what you have to do is you have to book the free trial class. Book it anytime whenever you are free, and then enroll your name in our regular batches so that you can meet in every regular classes, right? Okay, so let's move on to the topic, but before that let me remind whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming session. And don't forget to like, comment and share with your friends. Okay, chalo. So today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is the human evolution. Okay, so this is the very first session of this chapter, and a very important and interesting chapter because you are coming to know about the human being over here and where from it originated. So what happened in history? Let us see a little bit of the history of the science. Okay, yes, chalo. So in today's session we are going to discuss about the evolution. Kya hota hai actual evolution? Some of the theories of evolution, mainly the two main and important theory which was given by Lamarck and Darwin. Okay, so Lamarck's theory and Darwin theory we were going to discuss, and what are the differences between the two theories which are given by the two very important scientists, and then we will move on to the human evolution and the different stages of evolution of human beings. So from where we originated, who were our ancestors and how we are now. Okay, so it's very, very interesting. I am super excited to share all these things with you. Chalo. So let's start with the earth and what are the different living organisms which were present from the very past time. So surely we are not fortunate so much that human being was not from the very previous time when the earth exists. Okay, so as you already know that the earth was formed billions of years ago. Yes, but do you think that the human being were also there? No. So who all were the primitive or the very like historic organisms at that time which who were exists on earth? Yep. So those are tiny bacteria. So there are the bacteria who were primitive and they existed at that time when the earth was formed, and these bacteria definitely were so small. We cannot see without the help of the microscope, right? We cannot see the bacteria even now also without the help of the microscope. So those microorganisms were there. But now think, how come the different species like the dinosaur, the whale, they came into existence? Any idea? Yes. So, were they born directly from the egg, or there were certain adaptations, some evolutions, some processes which improved the existing of the different species? Any idea about it? So, all these questions which are coming in your mind, you will get the proper answer in today's session after looking into today's session. Okay. So, first, let me share with you what do you mean by this evolution. We are talking about the evolution. So, it is a very slow process, very slow and continuous process which help to form the complex structure. Okay, the complex living organisms which were emerged from a very simple structure millions of years ago. Yeah, so from previously the life forms or the living organisms were very simple, but nowadays with the different types of changes along with the change of the environment as well as the different forms of adaptation, all the different organisms are changing themselves within their morphology, anatomy and all, and they are becoming more complex and more modern. But this whole evolution is not necessarily it is happening within 5 years or 10 years. Millions and millions of years are necessary, or it is taking millions and millions of years to complete, or it is actually a long lasting process. It will continue, so to continue and form the different stages of the living organism. Up to this much clear? Yes. Okay. Now we all have watched the Jurassic Park movie, right? Yes, we have seen the creatures like the dinosaur roaming around the planet, and they are not eating us. When they were not eating us because they were dependent upon something else, their food were different. Okay, so have you ever wondered where these creatures went, or where do they disappear? What happened to them? Any idea? So now we are going to study about the theories of evolution, and then you will come to know something happened, and that is why they do not exist on earth now. Okay, so let's see what are the different theories of evolution. So Jean Baptiste de Lamarck was the first scientist who proposed a theory which was inheritance of acquired characters. So be very specific about the name of the theory, because in your examination you generally are given state this theory, state those theory, not necessarily that they will tell you the name of the scientist. So the name of the scientist and the name of the theory is very, very important for you to remember. Got it? So Lamarck first gave this theory, and here he told that organisms change physically as they struggle to meet the different demands what they need for their survival. ओके जैसे एवोल्यूशन ऑफ जिराफ हुआ था, तो ये एवोल्यूशन ऑफ जिराफ कैसे हुआ था वो भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. आई विल टेल यू द स्टोरी. ठीक है, तो दिस इज बेसिकली अ स्टोरी टेलिंग क्लास, मोस्टली द स्टोरी ऑफ आवर सेल्व्स. ओके, from where we have originated. So that is why it is very, very interesting. So now you can see that the Lamarck proposed his idea of evolution on the basis of the studies. He studied first the different patterns of forces, and they matched those forces, and they just compared it with the different types of organisms which are present in the present days. Okay, and then he came to know about the lot of different types of organisms which were already they do not exist now, and they have already become the fossils. And nowadays what are the species which are existing on earth? And after the different type of study, research and all, he got two different findings or two different theories. What are the two different theories? One is use and disuse, and the second is inheritance of acquired characters. Okay, so use and disuse and inheritance of acquired characters, these are the two main theories which were proposed by Lamarck. We are going to study them in detail with the help of the examples. Now, see, in the very first theory, which was use and disuse, he stated that the parts of the body which we generally use extensively, they become stronger and larger. And the part of the body which we generally avoid, or it is of no use, that much we do not use them, they gradually will become weaker and finally they can be totally inactive. जैसे हमारा अपेंडिक्स हुआ था. Okay, the appendix, the vermiform appendix जो है, we see that in the, we have heard that in ancestor period they had certain role in the digestion process, but nowadays it is a vestigial organ. वेस्टिजियल ऑर्गन का मतलब है वो उसका कोई रोल नहीं है, बस वो थे, कभी कोई रोल किया हुआ है, and that is why it is present in our body. Sometimes when there is certain infection, हम अपेंडिक्स का ऑपरेशन करते हैं, राइट? तो क्या करते हैं डॉक्टर्स, सर्जरी करके वो अपेंडिक्स को हटा देते हैं हमारे बॉडी से, तो उसका कोई रोल ही नहीं है हमारे बॉडी में. तो इफ इवन इफ वी जस्ट रिमूव इट, nothing will happen to our body. Understood? So, this is the first use and disuse theory which was given by Lamarck, and according to this theory, उसका कहने का या फिर ये formulate करने का ये तरीका था या फिर example ये था कि you can see the giraffe. He said that previously giraffe were like of the size of the horses. Okay, now that time they ate the like the grasses and all. Now gradually when the grasses, the food which are in the ground level, they are becoming lesser and lesser due to they have already eaten it up, they stretched their neck and the forelimbs, which happened so that they can eat the higher plants. And this stretch of the neck, generation after generation, what happened, their neck become very much stronger and larger and longer generally, and so that they can get the leaves of the higher plants, and that is why their neck is very long. Okay, so this is the use and disuse theory which were given by Lamarck. Now the second theory. So when he was using anything after the birth, like if it is the giraffe who is using the neck extensively for getting the leaves from the higher plants, it was after the birth, right? So what happens, generation after generation, when they are reproducing, the same thing is happening to their children. So generation after generation, the giraffe are getting their stronger and longer neck. So this is a very simple theory which was given by Lamarck. So this is the theory of use and disuse and the theory of the inheritance of the acquired characters, because we already know we inherit the different characters from our parents. Same thing happened to the giraffe also. As their parents were having longer neck, the children were also having the longer neck. Up to this much clear? Yes. Now let's move on to what Darwin said. So Darwin proposed another theory for which is known as natural selection. So this is the theory of the natural selection, or we can call it as also as Darwinism. So this natural selection theory has four postulates. What are they? First is the speciation. Second is the struggle for existence. Third is the variation. And the fourth is the survival for the fittest. Okay, so from the names only you are going to understand a little bit about the theory कि उसने क्या बोलना चाहिए था, like क्या बोला था, right? So let's first see what were their postulates. So first one is the speciation. मतलब क्या है, from one generation to generation when they are giving rise there may be the formation of the new species. ये new species कब formation हो सकता है, if there is any variation mutation in their gene and when they are separated with the help of a barrier, they some of them are present in one geographical region and another are any other geographical region. So time to time kya hoga, their generation after generation they will have their modified body structure and finally ऐसा new species आएगा कि both the species will not be able to interbreed with each other. तो दोनों species दोनों नया नया species में form हो जाएगा. Fine? Yes. So this speciation, that is the formation of the new species, was first formed. It was given by Darwin, and according to the speciation, it can be broadly divided into two main types, that is the sympatric speciation and allopatric speciation. Sympatric speciation में geographical difference नहीं होता है. Here, some other factors are acting upon the different species which are forming some new species and they cannot interbreed with each other. And allopatric में क्या होता है? They are actually geographically separated, and that is why when they are going to the different places, they are coming adjusting with the different climatic factors also and environmental factors, and that is why they are becoming some certain new species. Okay, so this is the very first postulate which was given by Darwin. Second one is the struggle for existence. तो struggle for existence से आपको पता चलेगा कि when there will be the multiplication of the organisms but the food and space is limited on earth, right? Earth is also not growing with us. डू यू अग्री विथ मी, हमारे पॉपुलेशन ग्रो कर रहे हैं पर अर्थ तो ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना? तो इसीलिए क्या होगा, कंपटीशन बढ़ जाएगा एग्जिस्टेंस के लिए. सो हियर कंटिन्यूअसली स्ट्रगल फॉर एग्जिस्टेंस इज देयर फॉर द फूड एंड स्पेस एंड बेसिक नीड्स. तो जो भी स्ट्रगल फॉर एग्जिस्टेंस में जीतेगा, they will be able to survive, and when no, then they will not be able to survive. Now, coming to the third postulate, that is variation. So, because of the adaptation, we are basically changing continuously, generation after generation, we are changing. You can see that all over the world, no two human being is same, look alike, right? Similar हो सकता है, पर same नहीं हो सकता. Even if you think about your parent and if you have any sibling, then you can see that your brother or sister is not at all exactly the same, like exactly what you are looking like. Yes, so this is the variation due to the different errors in the DNA mutation and all, and this variation will lead to the evolution, making of the new species, modernity, like advancing the life form. Understood? Yes. So variation अगर नहीं होगा तो evolution भी नहीं होगा. तो variation creates a huge role in the process of evolution. Clear? And the last one is survival for the fittest. You can see over here in this pandemic also, whoever can survive along with the coronavirus, they are surviving. And whenever the coronavirus is attacking somebody and their body is cannot like adjust with that condition, cannot adapt with that situation. I'm just giving you a very simple example because we are going through this condition right now. So whoever can adapt themselves in the condition, they will be able to survive and reproduce, and the new generation will come up who will again can survive because their genes will be mutated. We generally see biologically like this, okay? And whoever will not be able to survive with the change of the situation, then what will happen, they will die, right? So for example, I'll share you one very interesting story of the industrial melanism of the pepper moth. What happened in Britain, there was some industrial melanism when the industries were growing very much at a high rate in a particular time. So before that क्या है, the evolution of the peppered moth is the for the color change is a very good example for that. So industrial revolution के पहले क्या था? Everything was not polluted, so the environment was so clear, very clear, and that is why light colored का जो moth था वो like ज़्यादा था, and dark color का moth कम था because they were spotted very easily and eaten up by the birds. Yep. But what happened later on when the industries grew? So the whole area was polluted, and with the pollution, the smoke, and all, the change of the color, started blending with the situation, and the dark colored moths were increased in number. And the white colored moths were very much easily spotted by the birds or their predators at that time, and they eat them up, and that is why the dark colored moths increased at that time in number. So this is one example of the industrial melanism which happened due to the evolution. Same example you can see, I'm giving you another example. See, the white mice population is greater over here than the black or the dark mice. Yes. Now what happened? The white mice are very easily spotted by the fox. And the fox eaten up all the mostly the white mice. And then what happened? Then in the next generation, the white mice were very less and the dark mice were high in number. So this is how evolutionary continuously the change of the species happened. And this is known as the natural selection. ठीक है, up to this much clear? Now let's see what about the differences between the Darwin and Lamarck's theory. Lamarck ने बोला था कि he believes that use and disuse of an organ or parts will change. It will be transmitted generation after generation, and according to that the new species will be formed. But Darwin believed that it totally depends upon the struggle for the existence and fittest for the survival. जो भी fit होगा वही survive कर पाएंगे. Okay, so the theory he named is the natural selection, but the theory which was given by Lamarck was the acquired inheritance of the acquired characters. And the next thing is, Lamarck said the new species evolve after a long period of time, after many generations, by acquiring the new characters. But Darwin's theory said that new species evolve due to the accumulation of the favorable condition over a long period of time. तो favorable जितना condition होगा, favorable variation होगा, तब वो अगर survive कर सकते हो तो वो survive कर जाएंगे, नहीं कर सकते हो तो वो survive नहीं करेंगे. Clear है up to this much? Yes. Now later on what happened, the Darwin's theory were modernized or some modification was done, and then a new theory which explains the sources of the variation, because sources of variation were not said by Darwin. तो sources of variation discover होने के बाद वो modern genetics के साथ blend करके नया एक modification आया है, and that theory is known as neo-Darwinism. Clear up to this much? Now let's move on to the human evolution. तो human evolution पढ़ने के पहले हम देखेंगे कि क्या क्या स्टेप से ह्यूमन, हम जो आज मॉडर्न ह्यूमन बीइंग है, तो कौन कौन से स्टेप से हमने स्टार्ट किया, या फिर what are the steps through which our evolution has taken place. So as you already know, Homo sapiens is the scientific name of the human being which was given by Carl Linnaeus, and Homo sapiens generally belong to the primates, and we all are mammals, but we started from the monkeys and apes. We have the different features which are related to the monkeys and apes, mostly related. So you can see over here, we started from the Ramapithecus, then the Australopithecus, then Homo erectus, Neanderthal man, Cro-Magnon man, and finally the modern human being we are. Okay, so let's see through all these stages what are the different changes we have come along. Okay, क्या क्या changes हमने हमारे body में हुआ था. First is the bipedal locomotion. We started walking with 2 feet, okay, freeing from the forelimb. हम हमारे forelimbs को use नहीं करते जो पहले करता था हमारा ancestors. Okay, then increase in the cranial capacity. हमारे brain का ऊपर जो skull है, that cranial capacity has been increased. Then the reduction in the size of the canine, हमारा canine teeth reduce हो गया due to the omnivorous feeding habit. Then loss of loss of jaw power, हमारा jaw पहले strong था, अभी थोड़ा सा लो पावर्ड है. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द चीन, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द फोरहेड, वो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट था, अभी थोड़ा सा फ्लैट जैसा है. ब्राउ रीजेस है, वी हैव द आईब्राउ रीजेस. इरेक्ट posture, we stand erect. Development of the lumbar curve and reduction of the body hair, हमारे बॉडी में जो hair है that is very much reduced if we compare it from our previous ancestors, or we can say like the monkeys or apes, right? So different stages through which we have come along are the Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthal man, Cro-Magnon man, and the final modern man, that is the Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay. Now let us study about their characteristic features. वो पहले कैसे था and अभी वो कैसा है, अभी हम कैसा है, तो क्या क्या चेंजेस आए हैं हमारे बॉडी में, वो आपको पता चल जाएगा फिर. ठीक है. So they were small stature, you can see over here. Average height 120 centimeter tall था और cranial capacity 450 to 600 centimeter cube था cranial capacity. Okay. Then vertebral column में distinct एक lumbar curve था. That is why they have the broad pelvis and lumbar curve like this. Teeth were strikingly man and simian gap was absent. And they had the prognathism, that is protruding of the outer face was protruding out, and the chin was absent. Eyebrow ridges be projected over the eyes. So eyebrow ridge सामने थोड़ा सा आ जाते थे. You can see over here the eyebrow ridge, right? So this is the skull which were present in the Australopithecus. Yes. Next is Homo habilis. A little bit change हुआ. क्या क्या change हुआ? First of all, the first man, we can say our ancestors, 150 उसका more or less height था. Brain का capacity थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, 680 to 735 centimeter cube है. Bipedal locomotion started. Head was large and protruding face. You can see face was still protruding. Right, body hair was there, and the dentition showed small canines like that of the modern man. Next, Homo erectus, totally erect structure. They hunt animals and use fire for hunting and eating and roasting the meat. Their body size is 120 to 150 centimeter. Cranial capacity 800 to 1125 centimeter cube था. तो ज़्यादा increase हो रहा है, you can see, and they walked fully upright. Pelvis was no more like this. They were fully upright. You can see them. Yes. Next, yes, other than this, they have the forehead receding. थोड़ा सा कम हुआ. Jaws were still projecting. You can see थोड़ा सा सामने projected out है. Chin absent, and the size and arrangement of the teeth resemble more of like us, the modern human being, rather than the ape. Next आया Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man, their height is 160 centimeter, a little bit more. 1450 centimeter cube was the cranial capacity. Bipedalism totally absolute. 2 feet में वो चलते थे. Then flat, broad head है, forehead sloping है. You can see the brow ridges, prominent brow ridges over here. Almost no chin and less hair in the body. Okay. Then came the Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man 180 centimeter height, a little bit increased. Cranial capacity भी increase होके 1450 से 1600 हो गया, centimeter cube हो गया. इधर large skull, broad face, forehead rounded, prominent chin आ गया. You can see over here. Chin is prominent over there. They were cave dwelling human being. Hunting, poaching, then agriculture, domestication, they started practicing all these things. Next, the Homo sapiens sapiens. हमारा modern man, you already know the characteristic features of our body. So modern man evolved from the Cro-Magnon man and the end of the last glacial period. Generally, the fossil of the modern man is found in France, Java and South Africa में हमें हम देख सकते हैं fossils. तो bipedal locomotion you already know with four reversed curves in the spine, upright head, skull at the top, vertebral column, eyes facing in front, and binocular vision. These are the characteristic feature. If we think about the heights, we have a lot of characteristic features. Some of them are here. 180 centimeter height, हमारा ब्रेन का कैपेसिटी ऑलमोस्ट क्रोमैग्नन मैन जो ऐसा ही है 1600 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब लार्ज स्काल broad face, rounded forehead, prominent chin, less hair in our body, swift-footed and cave-dwelling beings, and we know the different practices: hunting, agriculture, domestication. These we generally already know that. Yes, and other than this, like we have also developed the logical syllabic speech so that we can communicate properly. We started preparing the different metallic tools, ornaments, utensils, the animal cultivation of the plants and domestication of animals for our economic importance. So all the different things which, and nowadays so you already know we are so much dependent upon the technology. So we have developed all these things. Yes, we have already practicing these things after the formation of the modern human being. So the scientific revolution came out as of today. Human have altered world in ways that benefit them the greatly. सबसे important जो beneficial effect हमें benefit हम जो होता है, that is what we generally focus on and we do the practice, right? Okay, so this is the whole story of the evolution of human being. I hope you have enjoyed and you have already understood. Yeah. Quickly now, let us discuss some of the question answers. These are the question answers you generally get in your school exam. So let's discuss some of them. Name any three vestigial organs which are found in human being. तो थ्री वेस्टिजियल ऑर्गन क्या क्या हो सकता है हमारा पिन्ना अपेंडिक्स आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेड एंड विजडम टीथ जिसका कोई फंक्शन नहीं होता बट दे आर प्रेजेंट ओके write all the stages of the human evolution in their correct sequence में आपको लिखना होगा तो कब से स्टार्ट करोगे आप कहाँ से ऑस्ट्रेलोपिथेकस देन होमो हैबिलिस होमो इलेक्टस Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon man, and finally the modern man. Okay, so this is the answer. You have to write it in proper sequence. Next is what is the range of the cranial capacity of Homo erectus? तो ये Homo erectus basically पूछा गया है. ये कोई भी human being का stage का पूछ सकते हैं. तो Homo erectus का क्या था? 800 to 1125 centimeter cube. Fine. So that's all for today's session. We have already studied about the evolution, theory of evolution, Lamarck theory, Darwin theory, the differences between them, and the human evolution, the long story of the human evolution, all the stages of the human evolution, right? Yes. So hopefully you have already understood. It is a very interesting and easy chapter, but you need to remember a lot about all the characteristic features and the total human evolution. So thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. We will again meet in some other session. So before going, let me again remind you, whoever has not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it now and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. And don't forget to like, comment, and share also. We will again meet on the some other sessions. So till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy.